These are the new third generation Amazon Echo frames. They are smart glasses with Amazon's voice assistant on board, and as I put them on my face, they're connecting to my phone, and Amazon's Miss A is now telling me so. Now, I don't know if these look good or if I look just like a total geek. You get to tell me. The fact is, I'm split about these smart glasses entirely. There are moments of complete and utter genius, and then there are moments that I feel like they're a complete disaster. And I found a better alternative for most of you. Honestly, I'm a sucker for this stuff. It's fun to stick tech like this on your face and go about your day, have conversations in front of people that they don't understand. And I love that they think I'm a little crazy. Maybe I am. But the truth is, I'm not sure they're smart. And I think in 2024, these are going to be a hard sell. I'm not here to sell them to you, but I am going to talk about why some people will find huge value in them, and then tell you why a lot of you just want to keep moving on. Hello Automators, thanks for tuning in again. I'm Brian from Automate Your Life, and I'm not going to waste any of your precious time because the whole point of Automate Your Life is to save you time. The Echo frames are smart glasses. They have two speakers, each on one arm, that can blast information and content like music, podcasts, or audible books into your ears. The speakers are okay, and I don't think we should really be expecting to have our minds blown by a set of glasses. But I've never sat here and really felt like it wasn't something I could listen to. The glasses also have 4 microphones on them. Amazon calls them beamforming microphones, and they're used so that you can speak to Amazon's voice assistant. Those work really well in high noise situations, and I've been impressed every time by their ability to pick up the wake word and then pick up what I'm saying. Now, I have had a few people around me trigger the voice assistant, but they did have to be close to me. There are 3 sensors on the glasses, but they're not really being used for anything you will feel. At least not yet. The Hall sensor is used to sense magnetic fields, which is used when placing the glasses in their charging stand. There's an ambient light sensor and an accelerometer in the glasses too, but they're not being used much as far as I can tell. There are 4 buttons on the arms, and on the left-hand side, you'll see 2 that are used for volume control, while the other 2 are customizable and actually really useful. These 2 buttons allow you to control your content, the voice assistant, or even do something like bring up the other voice assistant that sits on your phone. Now, they connect to your phone through Bluetooth, which is different than, say, the Echo speakers you have in your home. These connect through your home's Wi-Fi in order to give Amazon's voice assistant access to the internet and all of what she needs to operate. So what you have are a pair of Bluetooth speakers that also use that Bluetooth connection for their internet connection. Now, with that Bluetooth connection and the connection to the internet, you get everything that Amazon's voice assistant does. So if you've ever seen a review of a smart speaker from Amazon, then you know they can play music, podcasts, audible books, control your smart home, and give you all kinds of information. Amazon's done a great job of connecting to all kinds of skills, or what you would call an app store. And they've given you all kinds of access to different services and different information. They are essentially Echo speakers packed into a small battery-powered set of glass frames. Now, with that said, let's get into the real world stuff. For a pair of glasses to be considered smart, they have to contribute to our lives. And I think that a lot of people will find a ton of value just having Amazon's voice assistant there in a semi-private format. I say semi-private because the speakers can be heard by most people around you, even when you're at medium volumes. Anything louder than that, people will definitely hear what's going on. And I needed the higher than medium volume most of the time. Now, Amazon's voice assistant isn't perfect, and some people will come and say, that's an understatement, while others will tell me I'm being too harsh. Having done this, reviewing products from Amazon, and having seen enough data, I can tell you that the voice assistant will answer back 90 to 95% of your voice commands or requests accurately. at least the ones it understands. And that's the problem I have with the Echo frames. We just won't be asking for things that the voice assistant can do. Now, I asked our audience here on Automate Your Life what they wanted from a pair of smart glasses, and over 70% of the people who responded told me they wanted some kind of contextual awareness. As in, the glasses can recognize people, they can recognize where you are, they understand what's going on, and potentially can share data about what's going on. The most common request was to get help as you moved about your day and to not have to think about it. The respondents of our poll asked for things like reminders as they went past the garbage that it was garbage day tomorrow. They wanted to know who was walking up to them in case they couldn't remember or had vision problems. They wanted augmented reality, which means data in front of their face or in their ears about what's going on. And I agree with this. The problem with Amazon's glasses is not based on their voice assistant. It's not based on the technology powering it either. Bluetooth is fine, and requiring the internet is actually fine 99% of the time. The batteries in these are pretty good, and although I initially thought I had a big problem with battery life, I've been able to use these with moderate use for entire days with no problem. The problem is, technology is not at the spot where we can take a set of glasses, pack in all the sensors and things like cameras and memory into a set of glass arms, and then have it all work seamlessly. And I don't even blame Amazon for this. I think people's expectations have shifted as they become used to voice assistant and technology that works for them. So if you're looking for a device you can take on the road with you that contains Amazon's voice assistant, well, that's these, and let's talk about that. Let's start with the purchasing experience. This is a remarkably good one, and Amazon has improved this over the first and second generation experiences. Now today, you can actually go into the Amazon app and have a look at how you will look with the different styles and models of the Echo frames. This helps you get the sizing right, but I will tell you that you have to take advantage of the next part of the purchasing experience from Amazon. See, they've figured out that glasses are a little personal. You're gonna need to actually try them on. So they have retail locations where you can find these and try them out. And I suggest you do that for a couple of reasons. The first of which is that these don't have nose pads, which means, and I'm sure you're noticing as we're going, that I'm having to push up the glasses constantly. They fall down on your face. And for those of you who want to live an active lifestyle and work out with these, it's not gonna work. The other reason I'm gonna tell you to go is because you will hear all kinds of statements about the way these are built and how your prescription lenses will go into them. What I got from every store when I went to try and get lenses into my Echo frames was that they were very flat, and it would be quite an adjustment for me. They also told me that because the arms are filled with all that tech, they're both a little heavier than most glasses, and that they, as a store, couldn't do much to adjust the fit on my face. The only adjustment was here at the end of the arms, and that might not be enough to fit your face. The other thing I got told by 3 stores here in Canada, they would take the glasses, take them away for 2 to 3 weeks, and then send them back, probably broken. Worse yet, and a complete indictment of the Canadian consumer protection here, is that they wouldn't give me my money back if they did that, and I would just end up with broken Echo frames. Now the good news is Amazon has taken care of this. As long as you try them on and you like the fit, and then you go on this website right off the Amazon page where you can pick up what are called boomerang lenses. That company will take your Echo frames and return them to you with your prescription in them. You have to take one set of measurements and fill out a couple of forms, and you're done. And they were less than half the cost of the best pricing I got here from 4 different stores. So I did get these filled with a prescription, but it cost me $300. Now just to be clear, you don't have to put prescription lenses in the Echo frames because Amazon sells sunglasses and blue light blocking version. But once you have them and they're in your home, the setup process is extremely easy. That is, if you've been working with Amazon's voice assistant before. I say it that way because it's about a 3-minute setup process in the Miss A app if you've done all the work to connect things like your music services, if you've dealt with all the privacy and security and notification settings, and you've set up a smart home and connected all your devices. If you've done all that, it's just a few minutes. This is just adding another Echo speaker on your face. I think a few years ago I would have told you that Amazon Prime as a subscription would be enough for most music listeners. But today I think a lot of people are going to end up bumping up to Amazon Unlimited, and that tends to get expensive. So have a look into what you're expecting to use and some of the associated monthly costs with that. Now, there are a few experiences that I think are incredible and some that are incredibly bad. I'm gonna share those with you to showcase how these will perform in your daily life. Battery life will run you about 5 or 6 hours if you're playing content of any sort with any sort of volume. These will last throughout the day otherwise, as Amazon gives us about a 14-hour battery life. And I've achieved better most days. Design on this stand isn't quite perfect because I've returned to it a few times with the glasses having slipped or shifted and a little red light on the stand sitting there indicating that they haven't been charging. I was also experiencing some really aggressive battery drain in the first few days. This was actually coming because I was using what is 100% the best feature of these smart glasses. That feature is called Multipoint connectivity, which means you can connect these to 2 Bluetooth players at any time. The really amazing thing with this is the same as the new Echo Buds. Both the buds and the frames will switch as you move between audio sources. This is extremely powerful with things like PCs and your phone. As you play a video on your phone, for example, it'll play in your ears. Then if you stop that video on your phone and you play music on your PC, it will switch over and you'll hear the music. This is even better with Fire TVs. And I think this is 100% the best use case for Echo frames. If you're someone who has trouble hearing, put on your Echo frames, connect them to your Fire TV. Then every time you start up that Fire TV, your Echo frames will be playing the content in your ears. No one else will have to hear it. And while that is the best use case, it's also going to be a little problematic for people who live in households with other people. So there's a little work to go into that feature yet, and I think Amazon has to figure out a way to pump out audio in a couple of different ways out of the Fire TVs. If they do that and everyone can be sitting there listening on their Echo frames or their Echo Buds at different audio levels and maybe even in different languages, this will be a very powerful feature. Now, it's been so nice to walk throughout my home and prompt the voice assistant to control a part of my home before I get to the space. I think the normal experience, in a smart home is that you get to a room and you speak to the speaker that's there, which introduces a delay. You have to wait for the lights to come on or wait for an appliance to turn on. This has been a really welcome experience for me. But the truth is, we could stick these Echo Pops around the home and accomplish the same thing for much less. So where the Echo frames are gonna become the most useful are out of the home. When I get in the car or I go to some public place, the features there are the most important. In the car, I've had these really mixed experiences. For example, Amazon's voice assistant has failed every time to give me directions here in Canada. Now, I can't necessarily hold that against Amazon because they haven't officially released these glasses in Canada, or actually anywhere other than the US. Because I connect my phone through Bluetooth or Android Auto to my car, everything I'm doing with the Echo frames is going through my car speakers. That's nice in one way, but Amazon was smart enough to give us control. So the front button on these, it starts and stops playback. So as I was asking Amazon's voice assistant to read out text messages, which you can do by the way, And also, you can respond. But what I was finding was my text messages were being read out on my car speakers. And with other people, I didn't necessarily want that happening all the time. I pressed that button once to get my music to continue playing, and it switched the audio over to my glasses. That meant I was listening to music on my own, and if I just pressed play again on the interface on my car, it started playing there, so I could switch back and forth. I could ask my voice assistant to read my text messages privately, and then I could switch back to my car. And they've given us this VIP list to only get notifications from our glasses when it's from specific people or specific apps. I haven't found that working reliably, and I will tell you that it's struggled when I have multiple numbers for a contact. I will say that Android Auto and the Google Assistant seem to work a lot better for this back and forth. And actually, that's the other part of the genius inside of these Echo frames. The other button, the second one, can be used to bring up the other voice assistant on your phone. That actually makes these remarkably useful for those of you using either the Google Assistant on your Android or Siri on your iPhone. Then you get access to those voice assistants on top of Amazon's with these glasses. That's exceedingly open from a company like Amazon, and I think as we go forward, the Echo frames will become more useful with the AI enhanced counterparts of these voice assistants. The Echo frames will still just be the Echo frames, and they won't have that contextual awareness for where you are in the world. But I'm betting we will get some of that through other voice assistants, and maybe through the AI features coming to Amazon's voice assistant. And that's not something you should buy for today, but I bet you this is something you can keep your eyes on, and it might just become one of the most valuable devices out of nowhere. I do think they've done a pretty good job with the look and the feel and the construction. The materials feel good, and Amazon's design is much better than the first two generations, both of which I had. The connectivity is better, and the response rate seems every bit as good as Echo speakers in my home. There's really no difference here between the experience with an Echo speaker or these, other than I can take them on the road with me. So at the end of all of this, my recommendation is actually that you look at the Echo Buds 2, as they're basically the same device. All the features are the same. The customizable taps on the earbuds act the same way as the buttons do on the Echo frames. That Bluetooth connectivity is the same between these two products. The battery life is similar. They are the same devices in a different format, and the only reason to get the Echo frames, as far as I'm concerned, are for the lenses. So pick one, and if you can, get the cheaper one with the Echo Buds, as I think you'll use them more. Both of those links are down below in the description. Otherwise, check out our reviews on the rest of Amazon's smart home speakers and smart display lineup. Those are on screen now. Otherwise, thanks for watching today, and of course, live smart.